Hi, this is Bay here. I'm gonna start releasing videos where I just talk about POBs of things, of builds and archetypes I'm interested in trying. So I figure that actually this current league, I won't have the time to build everything I want. And as a result, I probably have a surplus of ideas I can't really work on. If that's the case, I figure that even if I can't give you a fully fleshed out POB, there will be some of you that actually can pull it off. So I'm gonna just drop the ideas in front of you guys and you figure out if you wanna use it or implement it or whatever. So one of the ideas that I've been working on or have been cooking for a while is an Azadi Crest Gladiator. So Azadi Crest was a shield that was introduced like last patch, right? Last league. And basically what it does is that it gives you lucky and unlucky effects. Use the best of or worst of 3 rolls instead of 2, so you get a extra bonus on lucky effects. And so we will look at the number of lucky effects that you have available and which are beneficial. There is 5 of them, I think. Not really. Actually, there's more than 5 of them. Okay, but there are 5 main ones. You have lucky block, lucky suppression, lucky damage, and lucky crit, as well as unlucky incoming damage taken. Right, with unlucky incoming damage taken being the worst one, right? You never actually want to run it. It's like meh, it doesn't really do much, and it costs you a ring slot, Laurie's Lantern. Anyway, so which build, which setup will allow you to actually run 4 of these? Now, lucky block only exists on from 2 sources. One, Svalin, which is extremely expensive. It was 100 div last league. And Gladiator, which is an Ascendancy. Now, the downside with Gladiator is that Gladiator has really, really shit Ascendancy points. If you look at Gladiator, this is really bad. This is also bad. This is like okay, I guess. And this is like only if you're playing Retaliation, which is, why would you do that? It's like, it's painful, right? It's pain. All right. So, in that case, the only thing really good about Glad is the block chance from here, so the increased chance of block, as well as chance to block attack or spell damage is lucky when you block recently. So you get lucky block from this that you can run with Azadi's Crest. You can't run Swalin or Azadi's with Azadi's because they both are shields, so only Gladiator can run Azadi and lucky block. Okay, now that we've established that, why is this viable this league? This is viable this league because you can actually get beneficial ascendancies outside of your ascendancy itself, right? Because you have bloodline ascendancies, so you can just pick one bloodline ascendancy that has 2 useful ascendancies, and you just run that, right? And you don't have to add anything else. You're gonna also probably get like Forbidden Flash Flames from, let's say, Slayer or Champion, and you will have an additional useful ascendancy. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna cover okay, then there's another 2 more things, right? So you have lucky block here. Lucky suppression only comes from this thing. So where is it? It's here. So lucky suppression is chance to suppress spell damage is lucky. This allows you to get very high amounts of suppression with very little investment, right? If I add just these nodes, no suppression on gear, it's already at 91%. If I add it on gear, you can probably get close to 100, maybe about 95, 96, 97. You don't really need to get 100%. This is just decent defenses for very little investment, right? And then you can also get lucky damage and lucky crit chance. And lucky damage and lucky crit chance, for lucky damage, there are a few options that allow for it, but they are mostly amulets, which means you have to sacrifice an amulet slot. And lucky crit chance is actually very, very rare comparatively. I won't go through all the sources. You can look it up yourself. So you can solve both of these by sacrificing a helm slot and by running Dance with Death. So Dance with Death, you can't use your helmets. So unfortunately, you lose out on your helmets. You lose out on your helmet socket. You lose out on helmet rolls, right? But your critical strike chance is lucky, and your damage with critical strikes is lucky. Last patch, this was kind of pointless. You didn't really have to run this. Why? Because crit chance lucky doesn't really make, like, you didn't get. Okay, you could get damage with, you can get damage lucky from mercenary, so you didn't have to run this. You can also get it through specters, so you don't have to run this. But this allows you to run lucky damage as well as lucky crit, right? Which kind of boosts your damage quite significantly, right? So if you look at this, if I take this off, damage falls off by more than half, right? So why Dance to Death as well? Because the Brutal Strain Timeless Drill gives you Dexterity, right? Every small passive node gives you 4, There are large ones that give you 20, and there are wait, it's here. Okay, the large ones that give you 20, and there are some that will give you 5% dex, right? And the reason why dex is important is because this is going to be a dex stacker. So why dex stacker? So normally dex stacking has very close damage ranges because your dex stacking almost always leads you to cold damage, right? So most of the dex stacking weapons give you cold and not lightning. So lightning usually has a very big range, cold usually has a smaller range. In this case here, there has been this claw that has been a bit underrated, has only recently been looked at, and that's called Hand of Thought and Motion, right? So it gives you a percentage increased dexterity, but also gives you 1 to 12 lightning damage to attacks with this weapon per 10. Okay, so with 1 to 12 lightning damage per 10 dexterity, what you're going to have is that you're going to have a very big damage range that can abuse lucky damage. And because you have a very big damage range that can abuse lucky damage, you can use stuff like volatility to make the range even bigger. So let's say you use Molten Strike, you can run volatility. And then because it's a claw, you can run Nightblade, you can use elusive scaling. You can use Molten Strike because it can be run with claws, which allows you to use multi-strike. You can use slow projectiles for shotgun. There's a lot of ways to scale the damage here. Alright, and if you look here, you also have this, like, you have point blank. You have dex scaling. You have dex stacking nodes here. So everything is within reach. You have block here. You can get spell block by just doing this. Versatile Combatant will give you 95% spell block and attack block after the lucky rolls. And then you get crit here as well, right? Claw nodes. You can even go into frenzy scaling, so you stack frenzies, and then you can go into masterful form if you have the flash and flame drills, right? So there are a lot of ways to scale this, and generally this is what I have come up with so far. I'm pretty sure you can come up with a better setup. I'm just gonna put it out there. I'm probably not planning to build this. It requires too much of an effort, too much time. But yeah, if you do want to try this, at least you can try it off from a decent start point, right? I'm going to drop this POB in the description, and good luck, have fun. So see you guys, bye.